evening. How are you?
How are you? Good evening.
I love your lighting. Okay, what do I need to
I
do to
don't know.
my
I
lighting?
wasn't sure because this is like the only wall that I don't have anything behind. So I'm like, do I come over here? I don't know.
Oh,
Oh,
I
you're
love
good.
the
Let's
light.
see your background. Let's see what you do too. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. There you
Awesome.
go.
Your body. Oh, I love that.
Means
Oh yes, the
what we're
fancy
talking about
machines.
today, lymphatic system.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit
Very
off.
nice.
Yeah.
Good. Well,
How are you
good.
ladies?
How's everybody? Ladies are good?
Good. Good. As good as
Good.
can be
Good.
for Monday.
Yeah, good. So here
Good.
we
There are
are.
no bras in my background, just so you know.
Hey,
Well, I'm not wearing one either, if that makes a
Oh, oh,
difference.
there you go.
oh,
Exactly what we're talking about today. And I have a comfy one on.
I have a tank
okay.
under. I have a tank, but not a bra. So
Yeah.
just for
Okay.
the
So we're here. It's
Let's
at
see if I
5 o'clock, so we can just get started. We have some people online, and they'll continue to come. my
yeah,
my girlfriend asked us. She's like, "Me either. I don't have a bra on."
oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I don't
she
leave
can
home.
afford to. She's part of the little itty bitty titty committee, so she can she can go ahead.
Aw.
She's okay with that. I
Well, you
love
know
her.
what's funny is that itty bitty titty committees turn into teardrops as they get older.
Oh, is
So
that what
we
that
really
is?
do have, yeah, so we do
Yeah.
still have to support them. It's the
Of
muscle.
course, we support
The
them.
muscle, you
So
don't use it, you
all
lose it.
love. Listen, before I had breast cancer and had to do the reconstruction or chose to do the reconstruction, I was part of the little itty bitty committee from I
Oh,
was a teenager.
I
So
was too. I bought mine. I was just bored over COVID and had some government surplus money and thought, oh, what are we gonna do today? Let's go get breast implants. So
I
okay,
love
so there you
that.
go.
You bought yours, I sold mine.
it's a little bit of
There you
everything
go.
going on, but we're
Here we
all
are.
connected
Here we are.
nonetheless.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's
Wonderful.
all it's either something we're born with and we learn to be happy with, or we choose to do
Yes,
something about it. But at the end of the day, it's our choice, isn't it?
it
Absolutely.
is. It is.
So
You know, it's funny because the breast is just something that we, as women, we agonize over.
mm,
You know, is it too big, too small, too this, too that, too everything? And I always say to my clients, just
mm,
be happy they're
Thank
yours,
you.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
They're
that's
yours.
good
And
perspective
and,
for
and
sure.
whichever way, shape, or form they become yours. I mean,
I think that's just
Exactly.
so natural for
Exactly.
women
yeah.
in general to, constantly compare and like obviously you're going to be your
Constantly.
worst critic, right? So you're going to pick
Hmm.
yourself apart. But yeah,
Hmm.
just I think the perspective of just
Just
being able
loving them.
to,
Yeah.
yeah, and whether again whether
Them.
you chose to reconstruct or not, as we talk about
Yeah.
this a lot, Natalie,
Hmm.
whether you choose to do the nipple reconstruction, all that, to each their own. It's whatever
Hmm. Hmm.
works for you at the end of the
Whatever
day.
comes in.
We
Mhm.
really should. We should be okay with whatever it is we choose to do.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's so
Yeah.
interesting how the three of us are connected here because
Or
Yeah.
we were all strangers, right? We don't know each other personally.
unbelievable.
Pauline, you had come in for a consultation, and
Yes,
then
that's
Natalie
hilarious.
came in for a consultation, and we were just in a session. And I was like, you know what? I don't know why. Natalie and I talk a lot about breast health and lymphatics and just, women's health in general. And I said to myself, Shay, she would really do well with getting in touch with Pauline. And I'd
Hmm.
only had that one meeting with you probably, I don't even know, during COVID, maybe 2021,
Yeah,
something
a
like
while
that.
ago, quite a while
And I
ago.
never spoke to you or saw you again, right? And then you just
No,
popped into my head that moment. And I said, Nat, you should get in touch with her because I
Yeah.
think you guys will have, a lot in common and can kind of
Yeah.
collaborate and whatnot. So then Natalie said, well, why don't we all kind of jump on a call,
Yeah.
right?
And I
We all
literally
come
left
great,
you.
together.
I left you, Bree, and
wonderful.
went straight to go meet Pauline. So here we are. And
You did.
I
She
love
really did.
how,
She left my studio and she went right to you. And I
yeah,
knew she would. She said, I'm doing it. I said, yeah, I know she
yeah,
would.
yeah. And so here we
She
are.
did. She did.
And this is
Mhm.
what I love about women like us is like, when we have a passion about something, and we want to spread the word and even, continue to learn ourselves, it's like there's nothing to stop us, right? And it's just like,
No, you
let's
just
figure it
do
out,
it.
let's do it.
Just do it.
And let's
Yeah, yeah,
share our knowledge too.
yeah.
So it
And the
in that
connections, how
note,
everybody is all connected and
mhm,
and
It
all
yeah,
is.
have different experiences, different walks of life, but all the
yeah,
same struggles essentially at
100%.
the end of the day.
The exact same struggle. It's really interesting to me because Bree, what you do, I am constantly telling clients about. I don't know if I don't know if they've come to you yet, but I'm constantly giving out your phone number. You got
And
to
I've
go
been
see
telling
her.
them for years, ever since I met you, to ditch the bra. And I tell your, and I don't tell your story because only you can tell
Yes.
your story, but
Mhm.
I recall our conversation and the conversation we
Yes.
had. And I said, ever since then, I've never been a big bra fan. I've always kind of had more like, the sports bra vibes. I don't like an underwire at all.
Mhm.
But after meeting with you, I went upstairs and I ditched my underwires, maybe the two or three that I had
Mhm.
that were poorly fitting and probably never fit me to begin with.
Yeah.
With the wire poking out into your armpit that you kind of just ignore and be like, oh, it's just
Yeah.
normal. It's just part
Mhm.
of wearing the bra, right? But
Mhm.
Mhm.
especially for me after getting my implants, I couldn't do an
Mhm.
underwire. And not to say
Mhm.
all underwires are bad, but
They're
um,
not.
as we get into what we're going to get into in the
Yeah,
Yeah.
conversation,
we are.
Yeah.
food
So
for
you
thought,
guys
I
stop
guess.
trying to hijack the conversation. Can I just get started, please? Okay. Okay.
It's your fault for having these A personality women on.
That's true. That's true.
Right? All
We're
right.
passionate.
So let's get into it for a second. You guys, I'm going to introduce you guys, but for all the guests that are here, all the ladies and gentlemen that are online today that have been seeing the posts and are here to be a part of the conversation on lymphatic drainage and potential risks of breast cancer or any other
Mhm.
complications surrounding the complications that can arise from lymphatic drainage or lack thereof.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
I first want to just introduce myself, Natalie Wilson, High Heal Diaries. I have my platform, as you know, whoever's here knows what my platform's about. I'm a breast cancer survivor, 3 times over. I've had many surgeries, double reconstruction, double mastectomy with reconstruction, and a lot of problems that arose out of that, which put me in a place where I wanted to share my knowledge and education of what I've learned the hard way, and what I strove to try to figure out on my own. And when I came to those answers, I realized that, I don't want to share this information with others as well. My
Mhm.
platform I've had since 2016, and it's empowerment, it's educational, it's not so much about rah, rah, rah woman. It's more like, what, this is what we go through. Everybody needs to understand that everybody has a story, and
Yeah.
not to just to support, to empower, to educate others, just be there for one another.
Yeah.
And also, talk a lot about trauma and recovery, because as I've gone through my own healing journey, I've realized there's so many other traumas in life that I went through and didn't even pay attention to. But it all came out because of the breast cancer, which put me into therapy and counseling, which now has me here talking about it.
Mhm. Mhm.
I want to say this, though, through all of my surgeries, and I've had 26, I didn't know about lymphatic drainage, lymphatic massage, all those things. I didn't know about it. Doctors never
Mhm.
spoke to me about it. Nobody said, yeah, you should go and do this. It's going to help with the fluid, even just water retention. Like, not until my second to last surgery, which was surgery number 24, did I know about it. And it wasn't even after my last breast surgery, but it was after my back surgery, that I ended up hearing from someone, a girlfriend of mine, who said, go and see Brieann from Lymphatic. And so I've been seeing her ever since. And we're on to other things, doing other things as well, but she's just wonderful. So I'm going to
It's
introduce
just
you guys fully in a moment.
It's
Um,
crazy that it took like 20. I'm trying to like process that, like
yeah,
24 surgeries before the word lymphatic even
yeah.
was out. Is
Yeah.
crazy to
That's
me.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's
it is
crazy.
scary. It is scary, and that's why like
Yeah.
I want us to talk about it and talk about more reasons why we need to talk about this
Yeah.
issue, right? And
100%.
why it's important, not only with regards to the drainage and what you do, Bree, but also the brassieres and what we women wear from the moment we have boobs,
Mhm.
right? And that's
Mhm.
you, Pauline.
Mhm. Mhm.
I had no idea that lymph drainage was a thing. So here we are, and we're at 52. There's other women that
Today.
don't know it's a thing either.
Yeah.
And I
Um,
bet there's a lot of women, whether in this chat or not, that are right now wearing a improperly fitted bra and
yeah,
just kind of like dealing with it because,
yeah,
that's just
yeah,
what society tells us to do. So,
yeah. So I
100%.
also want to state that I want to be sensitive here with what we share, so that any educational messaging doesn't imply to any woman that has had breast cancer that this was something that they caused.
No,
Rachel.
not at all. Not at
Right.
all.
And
So
It's
there's
not.
no actual strong evidence that, like,
right,
points
No,
to bras that don't fit
no,
properly causing
right,
breast cancer. It's
not
all
at
food
all.
for thought and just things to
right.
consider, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's a natural thing for us women who have had it to worry and wonder, what did I do?
What caused it? Yeah.
Right. So nothing you've done caused this.
And this
Nothing
is no
I've done
medical advice
caused it.
whatsoever. We're all just have,
Exactly. And that
This
was
yeah,
is
my next
not,
point,
no
that
medical. Absolutely
no,
nothing
not.
we're
It's
sharing
about
today.
self-care. It's about
Exactly.
self-care. That's
We're
what
not
this is about.
from
doctors.
our own experiences. We're not doctors. Disclaimer.
So,
Never. Exactly.
so,
I always say that.
Yeah,
So nothing we're sharing today replaces any medical care. Okay, so
yeah,
any medical advice.
100%.
If there's any care
100%.
concerns, then yes, make sure you see your doctor.
Yes.
So
Okay.
Brieann Cassidy, owner and operator of Lymphatic. You can find her at lymphaddictca. She's a specialist in lymphatic wellness, body contouring, and postoperative care. You can tell us more in a moment. Pauline Thomas, certified bra fitter, owner of Comfort Bras by Pauline in various locations and growing. Offering breast education, private bra fittings with a focus on inclusivity. So, Bree, would you like to just introduce yourself a little more and tell us why we're here, why you're here today?
sure. So as you had mentioned, I am the owner of Lymphatic. I was formerly Body by Bree, predominantly body contouring. I recently turned 40 myself, and I noticed my body changing almost daily, and not necessarily for the good. So, with hormones out of whack and all that, this journey for my own self awareness and, my wellness journey in general kind of shifted a little bit away from the body contouring, a little bit more towards the lymphatic work. It all ties in together anyways, because we rely heavily on the lymphatic system to process fat that we're targeting with our non-surgical modalities or treatments. As well, with post-op, we rely heavily on manual lymphatic drainage to help alleviate and mitigate the swelling and inflammation after surgery, specifically cosmetic. And again, I don't have any medical background whatsoever. However, I have had surgeries myself twice, rhinoplasty and breast augmentation. So after I had my surgeries here in Canada, it was basically like, okay, like Godspeed, take care. And that was
Right.
that. And I had no idea what I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So that really kind of dove me further into the post-operative, specific to, I mean, surgery is surgery across the board, but we specialize more so dealing with cosmetic and plastic surgery, so elective. Um, but the lymphatics is something that I'm very passionate about. Body contouring relies heavily on the client to do their onus. They think it's a cheat code, which I know very well because that's how I got into it. But the lymphatic drainage I can stand behind wholeheartedly, because this is not a vanity or aesthetic treatment. This is overall, health and wellness. And I think that
Healthcare.
people, especially after COVID, are really, really starting to pay attention to this now.
Yes, there.
Because again, even the word lymphatic is very trendy. I often worry that when things are trendy, that they kind of die out, or there's a lot of misinformation surrounding it, which there
Mhm.
is. Lymphatics is a very essential system within the body, but it has only recently come into the limelight. So,
Yeah, and exactly that, because as I said, like, I've never heard of it. And you think that would be
yeah.
something that your doctor would say, okay, by 6 weeks post-surgery,
Yep.
go
Do a
into
Skype call
lymphatic
like this, and
drainage.
it's like, hey, everything good? Yeah, sure. Okay, great.
Yeah,
Talk to you in another
yeah,
3 months, right?
yeah.
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 And I think
Yeah.
I have heard about it more so in the vein where someone has gone for cosmetic surgery.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
like, what about those who, so I kind of correlated it to that,
As
because
did
of
I
the
initially
cosmetic
too.
surgery. So it'll
Mhm.
Yes.
help you get your
Mhm.
contour in and da da
Mhm.
da da. And I never thought about, like, hey, you just had breast cancer reconstruction, and there's the correlation too between that and the lack of drainage in your arms.
Especially if they removed lymph nodes itself, right? You see a lot of women that have had lymph nodes removed in the axillary armpit area.
Yeah.
This is a major point of drainage under the armpits. And if you've had lymph nodes removed, now it's
Mhm.
working overtime, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Add constriction, compression.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Pauline,
definitely.
tell us about
Mhm.
yourself.
So it's interesting that you two sort of came about it through surgery. I sort of came about it pre-surgery. So my entire journey into Comfort Bras by Pauline began with the word lymphatic drainage. if it weren't for those 2 words, I would not be in this business. Because I went into this business to teach women about the importance of wearing comfortable bras, because my bras, having grown through perimenopause, I'm in full-blown menopause, so I'm an old gal now, but going through perimenopause from age 42 to 52, my breasts grew, I think, about 5 or 6 cups.
Oh, wow.
All the way up to a K cup.
Wow.
And everything changed mentally, psychologically, physically. I mean, we all know about perimenopause.
Right.
And not knowing what to do, not knowing what's happening. I'm getting heavier. I'm wearing the same bra. I'm buying bras online. I'm doing all sorts of things. I don't know what to do. And a really good friend of mine said, why don't you get a lymphatic drainage? And I thought, what? What's that? This is 2018. And what are you talking about? I don't know anything about it. What is that? Nobody talks about that. Looked it up online, went downtown, had 6 sessions. And the last session, she said to me, I said, what was going on? Because I was heavy. I was in a lot of pain in my breast. I actually thought I had breast cancer so many times because it was heavy, just hard tissues. And she said, well, I want you to imagine that you're wearing an elastic band around your finger all day. What would happen? Well, it cut off my circulation. She said, yeah, you've been doing that with your bras.
Wow.
And a light went off, like a light bulb went on. And I got to tell you, and Bree will tell you, a lymphatic drainage massage is so gentle.
Very, very.
Like, you don't even
If it
feel it.
hurts, I hear it all the time. People are like, oh, does this hurt? That's the biggest reservation. And
No,
I say, girl, if you heard this hurts, then they're not doing lymphatic drainage. I
they're
hate to
not
tell
doing
you.
it exactly.
No.
So she works on cancer patients. This years ago. She's long gone now, but I used to say to her, press a little harder, for gosh
I've heard
sake,
that
this
before.
is expensive.
I've heard that before. I can say that yet.
Yeah, it feels
Right?
really good.
And I'm like,
It's
oh,
so gentle.
who's gonna tell her? Who's gonna tell her that this is not what she signed up for?
No, it's very gentle. It's very, very, very gentle massage. But I would literally jump off the bed and run to the bathroom because something was just like leaking out of me or something. I just needed to
Yes.
pee.
So
And
you
she,
were retaining. So she said you were retaining excess
I was retaining,
fluids. And
yes,
then you're trying
excess
to cram
toxin.
yourself into a standard A, B, C, D, double
E-
D, right? Because
Exactly,
most stores they
exactly.
stop at the double D, and then it's
Right.
generic.
Mm.
So we're all
Never
And I
trying to
was
hurt to
cram
wearing 2 or
pay.
ourselves
3
into.
bras. Sometimes I would wear 2 bras, just to hold the girls in. I would tie them just to lock them in.
And all these toxins are just sitting here building
Yeah.
up.
Building
Yep.
up.
Sitting there
Right.
building
So
up.
we're gonna
I
get
mean,
there.
it was terrible. I was swelling. I thought I was gaining weight, but I was actually both. Of course, I was gaining weight, but I was swelling. I was
Lymphedema.
actually
Yeah.
swelling, lymphedema.
Yeah.
I was getting lymphedema.
Yeah, because we all have fluid retention, right? But the difference between regular, like normal fluid retention and lymphedema is night and
Very
day.
different.
So
Very
yeah.
different. I mean, you could actually put your finger in my thigh and it would leave a hole.
Oh
Yeah.
That's
wow.
lymphedema. So
So
that's our mission and our vision, and why we do this is to teach women. And part of our consultation process in that change room is teaching women about their lymph nodes. Where that, if you're going to wear underwire, here's what it needs to do. Your entire breast needs to be in the cup. You cannot have your wires sitting on your lymph nodes. You're cutting off circulation. And
Pressing.
we're just so passionate about that. So it's
yeah, and
not the
that was
wire. Yes, there is wire, bad
right.
wire. There's bad wire and good wire, but there's also bad bras and good bras.
I'm
Right.
curious how many times clients, when you're measuring them, are actually shocked that, like, oh my God, I can't
Oh,
believe you're wearing. Like, when you hear a number like 36J or whatever, right? They're like, I've been shoving myself into this generic double D because that's the biggest size that they had.
Yeah.
incredible process.
Yeah.
I mean, we
They're
literally
probably very
show them
shocked.
though. Before we fit them, we show them, we'll tell them, okay, now pull the entire breast tissue in the cup. And when they do that, it's like bubbling out at the front and they go, well, I don't like that. I know you don't. So let's find a
Doesn't
cup.
fit. Let's find one that fits.
So
Let's
let
find
me
a cup
ask
that fits.
you, Bree. So then you opened up your businesses, and this is what you promote. And I love your shop. And I when I came in
Thank
here, I was
you.
like, everything is
Thank
so
you.
beautiful. And
Wonderful.
it's amazing that you when you think of brassieres, women think that they have to be beautiful and their bras need to be push-up and underwired and all this like stuffing inside.
Mhm.
Well, it's taken
Or
away from.
even on the opposite aspect of that, the spectrum is when women think that they have to wear these boring, generic, like, right,
Absolutely.
like their grandmother's
Absolutely.
bras, like,
Mhm.
Not true. Not
you know.
true.
Yeah,
But
so
Mhm.
we
I
have
love
all
Bree.
kinds.
Yeah, I love that Bree does what she does. I really love that you do, and I'm constantly sending people your way because for me, the most important thing a woman can do, especially in perimenopause, is get a lymphatic drainage massage. It
And I'm
changes your life.
for
It
sure.
really
I'm pretty
does.
sure I've entered the perimenopausal chat. My doctor keeps gaslighting me, telling me, no, I'm too young. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm not. But yeah, I think
38, 39, 40. Yeah.
yeah, that's when I would say it hit like a ton of bricks this year, and then
Yeah,
everything is out of whack, right? So I'm in the process of trying to figure everything out and troubleshoot on my
yeah,
own. And nothing too crazy, but just to get like, more of ahead of it than it's
yeah.
getting with me.
Learn
So
some more about it so you know what's going on.
Very
Um,
important.
So I want to ask you, Pauline, so
Mm-hmm,
there's different aspects when we talk about restrictive bras, right? We talk about the
mm-hmm.
fit, the wire, the compression level, duration of wear. So can you speak a little bit more about when you say restrictive bra or tight bras or bras that are compressing too much,
Well,
for a woman that doesn't
we,
understand it?
well, we have to go back to the beginning of the whole thing. 80% of women are wearing the wrong bra. And it just surprises me all the time because I usually think, okay, well, we've taught everybody how to do this now.
Mm-hmm.
This'll be the year we get no customers. But it
Mm-hmm.
just doesn't because it's generational.
mhm.
And as long as there are still those bra stores and, that are part of the $1 billion industry, you're
Mhm.
always going to have the bras made in, and there's nothing wrong with bras made in China. They're totally okay. But the bras that are sort
Yes,
of mass
created.
produced, they're
Yeah,
Yeah.
mass
one size
produced.
fits all, like the cookie cutter
Exactly.
ABCD. Yeah.
A wire is a wire. A North American female is very different than one that's European or even in China or all the other parts of the world. We're built differently. We are different. Our sizing are different. So a D cup isn't a D cup.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on who's wearing it. And a wire isn't just a wire. There are companies that have spent hundreds of years making bras and
Yeah.
have perfected bras and understand a woman's body and understand that a wire, if you're going to wear it, should move with you. Shouldn't
Mhm.
be, we call it
Like an
a weapon of mass
instruction.
destruction.
Yes,
It
yeah.
Right.
really is.
For
It's
all
a
day, it's just
horrible thing.
digging into your
My
arm and like,
God.
pushing it back in.
It's awful, but so a bra isn't just a bra, and a
Right.
And
wire
then
isn't just a wire, and the
why
size
aren't we
isn't just a
getting
size.
why I think a lot of women still hold on to them too. Like my mom probably sells the same bras that she had from 30, 40 years ago, and they probably are,
Very
are
sad.
all busted up. But why are we not throwing them out? Like, what is this like emotional attachment to
Yeah.
Well, it's
bras?
not just that with women. It's not only that we don't throw them out. It's just that we wear them for 2.5 decades, and we wear
Yeah.
one bra every day of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same
Yeah.
bra. And I
When it
often
starts
ask
losing its
women,
form,
"Do
you
you
got to
wear the
say
same
goodbye.
panty every day?" Oh my gosh.
A lot riding on that
You
one. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
they need to be changed, just like
when
anything
we
else,
talk
like your
about
clothes.
when we talk about like, can we use, say, like a finger or like a measurement and say, if you were to go on the outside of your brassiere,
Hmm.
is there a rule of thumb that there should be X amount of space-ish, when you put your finger in underneath at the sides of your breast into your bra?
Well, we use the two-finger rule, and you should be able to comfortably move your two fingers around
All the
your
way
bra,
around.
all the
Okay.
way around. So you
Right.
should have that comfort. But
Right.
it's more than just that. I don't want that to be a rule. You should
No,
get
no, no. But I
measured.
mean, I think
Get
there's something that women
measured.
have to go by, right? Because I
Mhm.
think
No,
for a lot of
don't
women
go
don't
by
even
that.
understand it,
Get
period.
get measured.
Right.
Even if it's just one time in your entire life,
Hmm.
get measured, get fitted. It's like wearing shoes. If you've never gotten your feet measured, it'll
Hmm.
shock you when you do, because
Mhm.
most of us are wearing the wrong shoe size.
Right.
I just found this out a couple of years ago. So there are two things we need to get measured: shoe size and breast size,
Yeah. Then we
because
wonder
it makes a difference.
why down the road we have foot problems. Well, then why down the road
Exactly.
do we have breast issues?
Mhm.
Exactly. And that's exactly what happened to me, because I was wearing the wrong shoe size for most of my life.
But
Yeah.
it's still
Right.
so much stigma. Maybe women, are curious. Like, yeah, maybe I should go get properly sized. But so many women are already self-conscious of their breasts, unfortunately, or they still look at them like my mom would, who's a boomer, thinking like, I don't want to. Like, it's still very
Your
not
mom would
shameful,
never
but like a
believe.
modest. Like some women are just not
Your mom
comfortable, I
would never.
guess.
Your mom would never believe that she is. And I have a story about that with my mom. That she is anything more than a C or D cup. And if you said to mom she's a D cup, she would think, "Oh my God, that's big."
It's true, but
That's
it's not
really
a
big.
cup. Yeah.
And it's not. It's
Bree,
just not. And I have a story that like that with my mom where she thought she was a B, and I said, "Mom, the bra you just brought you that you told me is too small is actually a G."
That's the eye opener.
what is a G?
No, it's lover. And she said it's too, but it's too small. I think I need another size. And I said, like the H?
That could, yeah, that would be a rude awakening for
So
sure.
Bree, I
Shocking
want to
for.
ask you a couple of questions. That's amazing.
Sure.
We all, I think I've just realized that I'm a double D, not a D, to be honest. I know you always thought double D was big. And I was like, when I look at myself, I don't think I'm a double D.
She'll be in
What?
tomorrow, Pauline.
I
What?
saw I
Coming
saw
in
your
tomorrow
I
for a
saw your
fitting.
breast, and they're a little bit more than a double D.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
Really?
Again, I think our brain just stops at a double D because
Right.
that's the last
Right.
option.
They
The
look a
final
little bit
frontier.
more like a E or F to me.
Okay, well, I'll be coming to get fitted. I wanted to
Yes.
come and see you Saturday, but it was last minute, but I'll be coming. Don't worry. So, Bree, let's get into the physiological topic of breast restrictive lymph
Mhm.
drainage. So, when you say restricted lymph drainage, so first of all, can you just let us know where are all the different areas on your body where there are the lymph node groups?
Well, there are tons of clusters. It's easier to look at them as clusters. I don't know if I can show you the picture. It's probably not going to show well, but the main points of drainage in the face would be behind our ears and down through the neck area, right? So when you wake up with a swollen, puffy face, you've probably got a blockage, like the two fingers kind of right behind the ear there. Um, then you've got a cluster in the clavicle area here. The main ones on the upper body for drainage would be the axillary and the armpit. So when we're talking about breast drainage, we're typically going to kind of stop around here. Yes, you're going to get some drainage below into the belly button as well, but our main point of contact would be the axillary in the armpit on both sides. And you would think, we talked about this before as well, that it's a clear path for the most part. There's not a lot of space between the breast and the armpit. So we should see, if anything, there should be more drainage happening here and less toxins able to build up just because of where they are geographically from the
Right.
body, right? So my theory, again, no doctor, no real science behind it, but just common sense. If you're wearing this constricted bra that's too small all day for 10 plus hours, yes, everything's going to get stuck there, right? There are external orifices, so the toxins are going to kind of build under, and we're not getting the drainage, whereas it should be a clear path.
Right.
Mhm.
It makes
Absolutely.
total sense when you think about it. Like you said,
It does.
common
It
sense,
does. It
right?
does.
And I don't know
It
why
makes
there's
sense.
not enough studies out here. I'm not quite sure why we're not. And again, we have no scientific, well, there's not to say there's none, but there's not strong evidence that suggests that bras that don't fit right cause breast cancer. But I don't see how it could
I don't
help.
believe it either.
Right.
I think
So,
they don't maybe not cause it, but they do cause a lot of other things. But if toxins are not flushing out of your system, there are a whole lot of things going on that's not right.
Absolutely, because that's what
Inflammation.
the lymphatic system is doing. It's your body's natural waste disposal. And to really dumb it down, because it's a very intricate
and that was
system,
going
and
to be
again,
my
I'm
next
not a
question. So,
doctor.
yeah, please
What
go
is it?
ahead.
Like the layman's term. So the Coles Notes version, your lymphatic system essentially, lymph being a fancy word for fluid, right? So your heart is pumping blood throughout your body through your circulatory system. In that, there's a little detour, shall you call it, that's lymphatics. It is a separate system on its own and a very important one at that, but there is no pump. You are the pump. So we are going against gravity as well, right? Gravity's pulling everything down. There's no pump pushing that fluid back up, and your lymph is carrying all of the other bodily fluids with the exception of blood. In that, it's picking up toxins, cellular waste, obviously excess fluid, but that's like the fluid retention aspect of it is the bare minimal, and that's kind of
Minimal,
the only part
minimal.
of the lymphatics that's
Yeah,
getting any shine is like
yeah,
the snatch, the snatch, the snatch. The snatch
exactly.
after is like when they're talking about the snatch, it means they felt definition. They could see their maybe their rib cage or their hip bones kind of popped, or they felt a little more defined in the tummy. But that's the aesthetic bonus. That has nothing to do with what we're actually trying to
Mm-hmm,
achieve, right?
Mhm.
Your
mm-hmm.
lymphatic system is your body's natural waste disposal. So anything in excess that it wants to get rid of, it's going to store in your various lymph nodes. Hence why if it's not draining properly, you're going to see abnormal swelling. We all have fluid. There's no doubt about it. We all walk around every day with excess fluid. The lymphatic system job is to pick this up and to get rid of it. The only way to get rid of it is through your sweat and through your urine. So we rely heavily on fluid and movement, right? Cardio to get a good sweat. At the end of the day, lymphatics is all about movement and flow. If you're not moving, it's stagnant. We know that stagnant fluid can, collect toxins, which leads to, viruses, more bacteria. Given that it's so heavily tied into your immune system, if you're someone that gets sick a lot and you've always kind of just chalked it up as like, oh, I have a weak immune system, that's not an excuse. Like that's not normal. It's
Yeah,
not normal to be sick all the time, but we just kind of chalk it up to like that. It just is what it is. Um,
yeah,
I think that
absolutely.
people would be very surprised how much fluid that they're holding on to. And
Yeah.
it's not going to be one flush. I think it's funny when clients will say, oh, I felt amazing after, but then it came back. Well, what
Mm.
lifestyle changes did you make? None.
Yeah.
It's going to come back, especially if it's chronic inflammation, right? So
Yeah.
you have to incorporate it as part of your lifestyle, essentially. Once a
Yeah.
month, twice a month. This doesn't have to be an everyday thing, but
Yeah.
not a one-off. Not a one-off.
No, it's not. Like six to eight sessions, I think,
For a
is
good
fair.
flush and then to
Yeah.
maintain from there.
And
It
then
also
move
depends on your
forward. Yeah.
lifestyle, right? Like if you're a drinker, you're drinking alcohol, what is that? Poison, toxins, you're putting it back in your body.
Yeah.
If you are a smoker, or if you don't have the most active lifestyle, you eat a lot of processed foods and things like that. It's all dependent on lifestyle. And then genetics come into play, and there's
Mm-hmm.
not much we can do about that. We all know that.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Good. Very good. Someone has a question there, I think. Is that why past traumas and experiences can impact the lymphatic system? Oh, of course.
Absolutely. It ties so heavily into your nervous system. I actually
So
start all
much.
my massages. The first thing I'll say is I want you on your own time to take 5 deep belly breaths, diaphragmic breathing, right? And that kind of resets the nervous system. And whatever happened outside the studio, we're gonna leave at the door. This is your time. We're gonna, flow. It's all intentional. Like we want to have intentional. And sometimes clients, I'll say, breathe into the nose and sharp exhale to the mouth. And I don't hear the sharp exhale because they're embarrassed or whatever reason. I said, no, no, like this is important. This is part of
Or
it,
they
right?
don't
If
know how
you
to do it.
practice, if
Yeah.
in through the nose, deep, 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 deep.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
might look silly or sound silly. I learned this in Pilates because at first I was kind of embarrassed to do it. And all the girls like, really emphasizing the exhales here. But even
Mhm.
muscle contraction, movement, deep breathing, that creates channels for the lymph to flow. So it
Yeah.
takes intervention, but not a ton of intervention because, again, as Pauline has said, the pressure is so gentle. I think people
Yeah.
would be blown away with how gentle it is to the point
So
where they might be
gentle.
thinking, laying there. Sometimes I wonder if they're laying there looking at the ceiling going, what am I paying for right now? Like, what
Yeah,
is
I
this?
did. So
Because
they are.
they're expecting a massage. And I've had
Yeah.
that before where they said, oh, you can go a little harder. I'm used to it. And I was like, oh, girl, that's not what you're here for.
Yeah.
And as
Yeah.
long as you educate them and you can articulate it, in a comfortable way, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Right. But,
Yeah. So
you know,
tell me something then. If I was to say I heard that I need to go and get a lymph drainage, my surgeons, they told me, God
Mhm.
forbid, but they told me I need to come and see you after, after a certain amount of weeks of recovery. What is it that you would do in order to get this lymph area drained?
so post-op lymphatic drainage is very, very different than standard general overall
Okay,
drainage, right?
so
So
let's talk about just standard overall then, because not everybody's going through surgery, right?
exactly.
So
Exactly.
let's just
Uh, So for standard detoxification for someone, whether they've been recommended by a doctor, maybe they have a concern of lymphedema, which is excessive fluid retention. That is a medical concern that does require medication and doctor intervention and all that. Lymphatic drainage can help, but it's not the end all for lymphedema. So that is something to be taken seriously. Don't downplay lymphedema as I'll just get lymphatic drainage and wear compression socks and that'll be fine because that's not going to get better. It's going to
Mhm.
get worse. But general overall lymphatic drainage would be for someone who is noticing obviously the obvious excess fluid retention. So They've got constant bloat. Again, that's the word that we throw around. I think we just normalize it. Oh, I'm bloated. I'm bloated. But like, when are we not bloated? We're always bloated, right?
Yeah.
And again, common, but not normal. So getting to the root of the problem, a lot of times it's just stagnation, right? Whether that's a lack of exercise, maybe I mean, a lot of us are at a desk all day, right? Unfortunately, we're sitting at a desk. We're not able to get up and move around. So we do have a lot of fluid just kind of congested, and then again gravity's pulling it down, 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 so you tend to feel it more in your lower extremities. We get a lot of clients complaining of heavy feet, tingly legs. That would be a clear indication that your circulation is not functioning at 100%. And all that ties in, right? So we also incorporate the vibration plate, this guy right beside me here, which I would strongly suggest people looking into. That would be like the equivalent of taking a water bottle and shaking it up. So imagine kind of how that applies to the body, right? Especially first thing in the morning, you just were sleeping for 7, 8+ hours. All the fluid in your body is stagnant.
Yeah.
So to get on those in the morning and get it going, I incorporate it into our lymphatic drainage as well. But typically, it's for anybody. And if you have a body, then you have a lymphatic system and it's for you, right? This is not something that I'm starting to see more men come in, and I'm happy for that. A lot of times they'll tell me that their wife or their girlfriend told them. I'll say, you know, what brings you here? Oh, I don't know. My wife told me I have to book this one. Cool. Get on the bed. No, I always educate. Education is key. I never want someone to be laying there, because I've had that experience once where, and I knew she wanted to say something, or she was like, what is going on here? She probably contemplating the $100 she was spending, right? Until she finally spoke up, and I just educated her that this is what it's for. So I think once people are understanding that A, there's no pump moving this fluid through, so you're the pump, and B, we're working against gravity, it makes sense, right? We need to flush it. It needs intervention. You can't do this. Not just you can't do it on your own. You don't necessarily need lymphatic drainage if you are living a active lifestyle, but the average is more stagnant than not. So that's where it comes in, right? But this is meant to think about a reset, like a flush. So you're gonna leave my session with the same amount of fluid as you came with, because it's not leaving the body yet, but we're going to think about clearing a traffic jam. So we're clearing any congestion in an area, moving that stagnant fluid into the nearest lymph node clusters over the next 3 days, 72 hours it takes for your body to actually get rid of it. So a lot of clients will say that they're using the bathroom a lot more. I had a client this weekend. She had a session on Friday, flew out to Mexico on Saturday, texted me on Sunday, hey, vacation's great, the weather's awesome, but I'm like running off the beach every 10 minutes to use the bathroom. I was like, well, just go in the ocean at this point. It's like, is that normal? I said, very. Like, this fluid, we've activated it. We have awoken all this stagnant fluid, and now it needs to leave. So it's gotta come out to the bladder.
Very, very good information. So you're answering a lot of questions I was going to ask.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to like tone it in, because you know me, Natalie. I just talk.
Yeah.
So I'm really trying to like, if I have to do this, like, I'm trying.
Get in there. Okay, good. Thank you for giving me a lot of that information.
Great
I was going
information.
to ask you, what symptoms for the breast area? We talked a lot about just symptoms in general, but when it comes to being maybe a concern, what do you think, whether it's you or Pauline, what would one see where we would know that now
You might
the
want to get that looked up.
lymphatic
Yeah.
blockage is happening here to a point that could be detrimental?
That's a good question.
It is.
And again, just because of the word detrimental, I want to say, again, leading with the fact that I do not have
Not
any
medical.
But of a concern.
But the biggest red flag for me is an arm puff, not a pit. So the armpit is meant to be a pit. If you like, you could raise your arm right here, ladies. Those are joining us. And if you've got a puffy armpit, you probably have a blockage and you've got some work to do. That doesn't necessarily mean sound the alarm and like run to the hospital. But you're supposed to be a pit, not a puff. So if you, and it is a very common area, again, not normal. I don't like to intertwine the word, because people assume that common is the same as normal, but it's not. So it's common to see puffy armpits in what I do, but it's not normal. So first and foremost, we got to get things flowing. The vibration plate is amazing for that. Even a good test would be if you are on a vibration plate or have access to one, and you stand on it and you start getting really, really itchy legs, and you're kind of really bothered by that. That is, again, common, but not normal. That would indicate you've got a circulation issue. There's something blocking the circulation. So in the breast area here, again, our main point of contact for drainage would be in the axillary, in the armpits. So if you've got really puffy armpits, that would be a big red flag for me. So first and foremost, that would be
Okay.
sign number one.
Okay.
Obviously, if you've got pain, tenderness, sharpness, things like that, you'd want to get that looked into as well. But the first red flag would be puffy armpits, and the puffier, the more of a blockage you'd be working with. And we're not going to get a reset or a clear in one session. I mean, we'll do wonders, but it's not something that you could do once then say, oh, like how come it came back again? Again,
Yeah.
this is all
Pauline, yeah.
relevant.
Absolutely.
Pauline,
Absolutely. And
what can you add
yeah,
to that with
absolutely.
regards to?
For us as well, for me and for my staff, when we're fitting and we see that puffiness under the arms, and usually we're asked, can we do something about that? Well, kind of yes, kind of no.
Yeah.
We're going to put more of the breast in a cup so you're not continuing to block that. But
Yeah.
the very first thing we say is you got to go get a lymphatic drainage. If your
Mm.
doctor says everything's fine, because they usually say my doctor says it's fat pockets.
Mm.
That's what they usually call it. It's a fat pocket.
Gaslighting. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
So then if the doctor says no, you're fine, it's not cancer, it's not anything like that, it's not a tumor, it's just a fat pocket and you need to get a better bra because doctors are telling them that, then what we usually say is you need to get a lymphatic drainage because
Right.
you blocked that flow for so long.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you can actually
You can't
see it when
expect.
they put that bra on. It's not going to go away in one fitting. It's just not going to go. You need to get some other type of intervention as well as a proper fitting bra so you're not continuing to block it. But then you need to now get some gentle massages in there to get that flow going. So that's
Right.
Another
usually our
sign,
advice.
or red flag, not related to breast health in particular,
Mm-hmm.
but if you've got, super swollen, puffy ankles, you've probably got a blockage down there. There's
Yeah.
not many points of drainage on the back of the body and at the lower extremities, especially if you've got behind the knee. Other than that, it just pools, right? So
Yeah.
if you've got really puffy ankles, your feet feel heavy, tingly, you get that
Mm-hmm.
tired leg syndrome where they go to sleep, that's
Yes.
screaming circulation, screaming circulation.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it's funny that you brought all that up because I remember years and years and years ago, and I don't even think I had children at this point, and I always remember this still, that there was a period of my life where I was really, 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 really active and like skinny like a bean pool, big feet and like long legs, and then you know there was a period where started dating and traveling, and I wasn't as active. And I remember going for a walk with a bunch of girls one time, and I was itchy like nobody's business. And I had to
Mhm.
stop because I felt like ants were crawling all over me. It was that bad.
Yep, they have
And
that.
so,
Runners have that as well. So say that's exactly what that was.
yes, so lack of lymph drainage, movement,
Circulation. That's your
circulation.
Very
body. Your
important.
legs are screaming at you like, "Whoa, this is
Yeah,
not normal. Like, what's happening?"
Exactly.
Like, well,
it was crazy. I was itching
Exactly.
like crazy. Then I had red marks all over my legs.
because movement is required to get things flowing. So when you are doing something that you're not, normally doing,
Mm,
like hiking, running, whatever, out of the blue, or standing on a
Mhm.
vibration plate, which is new to your body, it's an overstimulation. It's like, whoa, like what's happening right now,
yeah,
right? So best to always ease into it. But
yeah.
I've experienced that as well. The one day I thought I should jump on a treadmill. I was like, well, walk before you run. Walk
And
before
then you
you
want
run.
to stop, but then stopping is not going to help the situation.
Mhm.
It's now you've got to
Mhm.
continue doing this,
Just
right?
exactly, but
Yeah.
just kind of starting, especially like with the vibration plate in particular. If you're feeling the tinglies, just sit down first. You stand or sit down on a chair and then put your feet on it just to kind of get things going in sections
Elevated,
before
yeah.
you stand. Otherwise, you're going to get the tingles for sure. The
Mhm.
itches. Yeah.
Yeah. Very
Just checking
important.
if I
Very,
had any
very important.
questions.
Yeah.
Do either of you know, are there studies? Because again, as I said, that this is something new to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think that for me, I don't know what word to use, but like there's no real area of conversation that I'm not abreast of in some way, shape, or form, right? But this is one area that I should be as a woman,
All of
more
us.
aware of, and I
All of
wasn't.
us, yeah.
Are there studies that you know of that that link, say, for instance, breast bra use, tight bra use, compression of the breast area to breast cancer? Do you know if
Not
there's
that I
any?
know of. And I
So,
looked, I scoured
so
before for this past week. I've scoured
exactly.
and I have not found anything.
So,
So
Mhm.
my theory is just I think that we've been applying all these tests to male
yeah.
bodies and or saying testing males, applying the results to females, like yeah, like it, for Adam for Eve kind of thing. So I think the woman's body just in general is like gravely understudied and
Mhm.
misunderstood.
So we have to understand a couple things when we talk about studies being done. And I always, because clients will ask me as well, are there any studies? There was a study that was done, and I always talk about this with clients. Right in the midst of COVID, an article came out that talked about the toxins in certain bras and the link to breast cancer, particularly sports bras. And I
All the
always,
fabrics.
the fabrics, the dyes in those fabrics. And I always link it back to lymphatic with your
Mhm.
lymph nodes. When the dyes are coming out of whatever fabrics you're wearing and the lymph node takes those toxins, remember your pores, your skin, the
Mhm.
biggest organ of your body, it absorbs whatever you put there. And so
Mhm.
our deodorant, our dyes in our fabrics, black fabric is dyed, blue fabric is dyed. So there are dyes in every fabric, just
Yeah.
about. It's
Mhm.
seeping into your pores. If your nodes are blocked, right, then it's not functioning properly. It's not moving the toxins out like it should.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
so there's a logic there. So that article came out, I think 2020, and quickly disappeared. So I'm now going to tell you why it disappeared. It
Went to the Epstein
disappeared
files.
because the lingerie industry, the bra industry, is a
Fast
billion
fashion.
dollar industry. And there
Yeah.
is no way the big guns are ever going to let that word get out.
Well,
Mhm.
even fast fashion, right? Like all the Shein
Exactly.
and Temu and all that, like the fabrics. It
Exactly.
doesn't say
Fast
right on the
fashion.
tag.
Exactly.
I got a
There's
jumpsuit that
no
said
way.
caution. This might cause, the cancerous materials. Like, oh, let's rip off the tag and put on the jumpsuit.
Mhm.
Exactly. So there is no way they're ever going to let that out. That this is, you
Of
always have to
course.
look at who benefits from that study
Of
and who
course.
doesn't and who has the money. And
Yeah.
you're talking about a billion dollar industry,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
the bra industry, not the
Well,
one I'm in, but the
yeah.
retail bra industry, a billion trillion dollar industry. They're
Mm-hmm.
not going to allow that sort of study to get out. So
Like with
Well,
quickly as
anything,
it
right?
yeah,
The
as quickly as
sick
it came
people make
out,
money.
it disappeared. Yeah, who's making the money from it?
it
Yep.
So
totally
it
makes
disappeared.
sense.
Yeah,
Anything that we can catch on to, and like this is another topic of conversation that heats me
yes.
up. But anything that the medical system, the pharmaceutical system, the
Mhm.
bigwigs, if we can catch on to something that can take money out of their pocket, of course they don't want us to know about it.
Well,
If someone has
how long has
Whether
Pfizer
or
been in
not we
business?
are
And they
dying
haven't
from it
they haven't cured
doesn't
anything
matter.
yet. They haven't
someone
cured.
has a comment that says the same with deodorants, lotions, and laundry
That was
soap.
a good point. I think I forgot, but you
100%.
said that. That's yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I still
Yeah.
believe that I no longer use deodorants with any type of toxins in it, all natural. And I
Yeah.
tell you, my underarm, my breast feels so much
What's your
healthier.
favorite one? Because I've been on a journey to find a good,
Oh,
proper working one for a while.
we've actually, we have one now in our store because we carry an entire line of
Oh, that's a great
perimenopausal
idea.
products.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
there is, I'm going to send you one. I can't remember what it is. It's by
I
a
know.
Canadian company. It's by
Okay.
a Canadian company, and it's just, is it? Oh my God,
I
I
have
can't
But
one
remember
even
the
that
name
too,
of
and
though,
it.
I
the
don't
fact.
remember the name of it, but I'm gonna get on it
Yes,
right now because
But
it's
even
amazing.
that, like that's such a great,
it's
like
a
getting people.
Canadian.
Yeah, your deodorant, everything, your
Yeah,
blocking. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah.
And we give it to our clients. We just give it away to them every time they fit, if they are, because we ask them to remove their deodorant. So we give this thing
Yeah.
away free, and it is by a Canadian company. And it's just wonderful. It after a few months of wearing it, it really regulates your pH level, and it's like wearing nothing. And
Yeah.
I found after a few years, I've been wearing it for a few years now, few months of wearing it, I no longer even need to wear a deodorant.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
that's what I found out too. And I'm using one
Yeah,
now because I went through some trial and error with some different ones.
Me
And at the
too.
end of the day, like I totally understand that most of the population wants to do things right by their body and
yes.
and put healthy things into their body outside that they know is going in as well. Now, nobody wants to stink though.
Hmm. So for
this is the
necessary
other
evil, right? It's
this
like
is
one of
the
those
other
necessary.
problem, right? So
But
then,
what is the stinking? And I
okay,
think Brie, let's talk about why are you stinking
Because
in
you're
an
holding on to, you're holding
but
on
hold
to.
on, hold on, hold on.
exactly,
Let me
exactly.
finish. Let me finish, and then you guys can tell me more about that. Smell to scent, let's say this, I'll use the proper word. Scent
Mhm,
for everybody is different. What
mhm,
one person is able to tolerate is maybe okay or not okay for another. But it's your personal preference, I think, or
mhm,
personal comfort level, right?
Mhm.
So anyways, all that to say that I've gone through different deodorants until I found something that lasted longer than a few hours.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you the name of it when I find it.
mhm.
Um,
I feel like I've tried them all. I'm still on the hunt, but
yeah,
My staff, I think a couple of my staff might be on. If it's on, guys, pipe in and put the name of the one that we
please
use.
tag it for us, please.
Mhm,
So,
Yeah, I
so
mean, the sweat at the end of the day, you can't deny, that if your sweat is, everyone has an odor, but if you're thinking like, oh, that's foul, it's funky, it's a buildup of toxins for the most part, right? So like after we do
mm,
the sauna blanket, the room clients are often embarrassed, like, oh my gosh, it stinks. I didn't realize it. And like, again, it comes with the territory. It doesn't bother me the slightest bit, but I have to
mhm.
tell them, like, you think what just happened, right? You just laid in the sauna blanket for 20, 30 minutes and sweat out all these toxins. Yeah, it's releasing. The good news is it's releasing, right?
yeah, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
And I
Exactly.
know the
Looking for it.
deodorant's a good thing as well. But
Very, very
I'm
good.
happy that we sell it in the store because it's all relevant. So it's another point of conversation because someone will be like, oh, like how come she has deodorant in the bra shop? And then it gives
Yeah,
you a good chance to educate them. And well, this is, it's all related.
it is very much.
Hmm.
If we're
Hmm.
going to talk about breast health, then everything around that
The area.
area has to be
Yeah,
healthy,
Yep.
not just
yes,
the bra. That's just
yeah,
one part of breast health. So
yeah.
it's
And I
I
agree.
think it's a holistic approach to breast health.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, here's the one that I use right now. And lady I spoke at an event in October, and she gave me one. Tiara. It's called Tiara Natural
oh,
Deodorant. TIARA.
That's the
Um,
Canadian one. That's
yes,
yeah.
she's
Okay.
right here from Toronto.
Where do you get it?
Um,
Online?
you can get a Healthy Planet.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, but there's so many. There's Attitude. There's Umbra, Schmitz,
yeah, those
But you got to
are
be careful with a lot of those, though. The attitude ones specifically, they're only, you got to think of who owns them, right? Because a lot of these clean products that are in
mm,
shoppers, they're still owned by Procter and Gamble or Johnson and Johnson at the end of
okay.
the day.
I'm just reading out
So
the ones I'm finding in Healthy Planet, but I've learned
yeah,
from
I
my
did that
21-year
too.
old that mommy, just because it's a Healthy Planet doesn't mean it's good for you.
very good.
Exactly. That's
That's
just
so
it,
true.
right? And we
So,
talk about the
so
word
true.
detoxification. Brands
Hmm.
love to throw that word around. Detox this, detox that, detox tea, detox shampoo. And we like, oh, great, let's, throw it in the bag.
Yeah,
Um, it's such an easy sell for people
Yeah,
because we want to think that we're doing
yeah,
good, right? We want to think that
yeah.
what we're putting in and on our body is doing good, but a lot of times it's just words on a label.
Routine
so
is another one that my
Emily
daughter
just
uses.
posted it. Super Routine natural
Yeah, I just
deodorant,
said
which
that.
is a
Routine.
Canadian. Yeah, that's the one we carry as well.
My
Okay.
very health conscious daughter uses that one, and she's
That
certified.
is a Canadian. It's designed and made by in Calgary by two Canadian gals.
Yeah,
Just fantastic, fantastic, fantastic product.
yeah.
Can't say
So
enough about it.
this is a little random, but I just wanted to point out because a lot of people have no idea what to expect in a lymphatic massage. And I will say that typically speaking, if you're coming for a general lymphatic drainage, my service name is called the Lymphatic Flow. We don't touch on the breast area unless I have no issue doing so. I can educate and show how to do it at home, like self drainage. But when a client comes in, that's like Natalie, if she came and she said, "Hey, I've had 26 reconstructive surgeries. I'm sure that I have some blockages there. The tissue's much denser. Do you mind if would we work on that
Mhm,
area?" That's not a problem at all. And I
Mhm,
always like to ask clients like, obviously we do an intake form so I can get an idea of what brings them here in the first place.
mhm,
And they would have to disclose if they had any type of, medical concerns or anything like that. So I'd be aware if they were, post surgery or in remission, whatever the case may be. So we don't typically touch on the breast area when we do a full body, but if that is a concern, then we absolutely will incorporate that into the massage.
mhm. Okay,
absolutely.
good.
Not everybody would be
Yeah.
comfortable if they didn't have breast concerns or breast health. They wouldn't be
Yeah.
comfortable with somebody. And I think that because it's more of an intimate, I shouldn't use the word intimate, it's not an intimate massage by any means. It's obviously professional,
It's not,
but it's
yeah.
not the same as your RMT massage. Like we're doing,
Yeah.
some people are very like off put. Oh, like my belly got a lot of play. Well, it's the focus of a lymphatic drainage massage, right?
Yeah.
Whereas when you go for your RMT, they kind of work on everything but the tummy area, the gut. They kind of
Mhm.
leave it alone, right?
Your
So
extremities,
yeah, yeah. You know, you
right?
think muscle massage the back and that's
Yeah.
it, but the tummy doesn't. Whereas with lymphatics, the tummy is kind of the star of the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The torso would be the star of the show. Yes.
Pauline, I
Mhm.
wanted to ask you with regards to bra pressure, are there groups of women for where bra pressure matters more? Now, and I'm going to just
Yeah,
name off a
yeah.
few, right? Because I'm sure you see
Mhm.
women that are going through all different things, that are coming
Mhm.
from all different
Mhm.
walks of life, have different concerns or issues. So, post mastectomy, post radiation, existing lymphedema, and
Mhm.
chronic inflammation or pain conditions. Like, would you adjust what you would advise to these women
Absolutely.
according to if they're dealing
So,
with?
so post-surgery, meaning breast augmentation, more
Yeah.
compression is required.
Mhm.
If you have reduced or increased, more compression is required to help the drainage.
Hmm.
After
Radiation.
mastectomy or yeah, less
Hmm.
compression is actually required, more comfort. After
Hmm.
that bandage is removed, then you're looking for more comfort around that area, less compression. So
Hmm.
sometimes sometimes women do come in with the wrong impression of the compression that they need. I think I had a client last week and she said, my doctor says I need compression and she just had a
Yes.
mastectomy. And I said,
No.
oh my gosh, no, 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 no,
That's what
no,
they've
you
always
do not.
told me. The tighter, the
No,
better. And
no,
sleep with the bra for
no.
months.
Too
That's
much
after a
compression is just as
mastectomy.
bad as not enough.
Yeah, after a mastectomy, no. After a breast augmentation or anything, increase or decrease, yes, but not a mastectomy. The
Okay, so
bandage
okay,
they
so
put
that makes
around you is
sense.
enough.
Yeah,
Hmm.
my
Because
surgery bra after my breast implants, it was tight. Like that was
Yeah,
tight. I
very
remember
tight.
sitting there like this, just trying to get some space. It was tight.
yeah,
It needs
okay.
to be tight.
So this makes sense now because my
Hmm.
mastectomies were in 2008 and 2009, so that was a long ago. My surgeries thereafter have been to fix some of the problems, well, all
Hmm.
the problems. And so they are post mastectomy. So I guess they are
Right.
considered
Yes,
augmentation, if you will, right?
exactly.
So
Yeah,
that's why I guess they wanted me to wear it tight.
that needs
And
a
it's like
very,
to the
very
point where
good
it's like,
compression.
I don't want to wear this bra. Like I would unbutton, I would loosen. So when I'm
I hated
sleeping,
Mm.
it.
just so I can get a
It's good
break.
for you,
I
though. It's
hated
good
it.
for you.
Yeah.
It's actually better. You will heal faster, and it's just much better.
Hmm.
The more tight
Especially
it
if it's
is.
implants. If they have implants, then you need that
Yes.
support right away, right?
Mhm.
And the
Yeah.
transition time, it took me about 3 months for me to get used to the fact that and, they have some weight to them, some volume.
Yeah.
And when
Mm.
I did take off my surgery bra for the first time to wear a cute little jumpsuit that I've been dying to wear, I could not wait to get back to the
The bra.
put my
Compression.
bra because I felt like I was
Yeah.
100%.
fall on the floor.
Yeah.
100%. The same thing with a breast reduction. Um, you
You
will
want the
grow
support.
to love your compression. It
Mhm.
heals better. It feels better. The pain is less. Everything is better with a good compression, and not
Yeah.
the one that you buy on Amazon.
Hmm.
No, because this one size fits all ABCD is nonsense. And we need to
Walmart.
rewrite the unlearn and relearn in a sense, right?
You
So,
do.
so,
You
so
do.
let me ask a question both of you can answer. And again, because I'm sure a lot of women, even so for those who are just coming on, some are leaving, some are coming. If someone was to ask, because the title of this topic of conversation was lymph drainage and
Mhm.
potential correlations to breast cancer. Should I stop wearing a bra to prevent cancer? What would be the
No.
most
No,
responsible answer?
no.
That's
And
that's the
No.
question.
realistically, the only reason
No.
why I'm not wearing one is because I
No.
have implants. They don't they're sitting there. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So
And I'm
um
asking, I'm
most
asking
people need
because
it, right?
this sounds like we
No,
say
it's a
no,
great
no,
question
no
because
stupid questions, right? But this is a
yeah,
question
Not a
that a lot
stupid
of
and
women
if you're
question.
have.
just tuning in, you might think that we're bashing the bra, and we're not bashing the
No.
bra. If we bashed the bra,
No.
then Pauline, you'd be out of business. You wouldn't have
Hmm.
any any business, right? So
But
it's not a matter of throw out the bra. It's make sure you're wearing a properly fitted one.
exactly. And
Simple.
not everyone wants to have augmentation or reduction. we're at different places in our lives. We want to be who we are. We want to be natural. And I think that the bra has gotten a bad reputation over the last several years because we're not quite sure what to do with it. We don't have enough education to know how to make it better for us.
Yes.
So we've got this really terrible, rap
And no one's
about
really tried. It's just been the
it.
same model for how many decades,
Exactly. But
Yeah.
it's not true. The specialty bra industry has been around for 200 years. And many of my vendors have been making bras for over 150 years.
You're just
So
few and far in between, and people are so
they are.
spellbound on the
People
department
just,
stores, right?
as women, we don't like to invest in ourselves. We just don't. We
But
will
that
invest in everyone
$15
else
Wonder
around
Bra is
us.
causing more trouble than it,
Yeah,
I think,
we won't do it. We just won't do it. And so if you say to a woman, a bra is going to cost $200 and you're going to wear that bra every day for the next 5 years, $200. Yes, but it's going to be healthier for you. It is just, you'll forget you're even wearing one. It still requires a thought.
yeah.
Okay, well, you can buy one for $40
Mhm.
and it's probably it won't be comfortable and it's going to cause a whole lot of other issues that you'll have to fix. You know, that old saying, if you buy something cheap, save that money for fixing it later on, because you're going to fix something because you didn't take care of yourself in the first place. So there are so many things, particularly perimenopausal and menopausal women. There are so many things that we need to make sure of as we transition in our lives. Good bras, lymphatic drainage, the lymph nodes are perfect. You need to go work on those. Make sure they're draining, make sure they're working, because there's so many things not working as you
I
get
mean, you're
older,
probably not wearing the same
right?
shoes from 25 years ago. So if you're wearing a
Absolutely.
bra from 25
Right.
years ago, you should probably,
But if
just
you are
just
wearing,
just
if
take
you're
it,
wearing the same
some
shoe
moments
size,
to.
then you're probably not wearing the right shoe size, as I
Mhm.
was, and you're probably having foot pains, and you're all those things that you didn't take care of will start to be a problem. So, do bras cause cancer? No, no one's ever figured that out. Do bras restrict lymph nodes? Bad bras do, and that has been proven. That's not a if it does or can it. No, it
That's a
does. It
fact. Yeah.
absolutely does. It's a fact.
Yeah.
It will make you feel better when you get that great bra with that, and start working on your lymph nodes. You'll just feel better. I think it relieves headaches, in my opinion, because I remember having a lot of, kind of just a feeling of fatigue.
I wouldn't
Um,
doubt it, especially if it's
you
pulling,
know,
pulling on your straps
ex-
all day, and
exactly,
just
your
disinfection.
shoulders,
Yeah, just disinfection.
it's worth it to have your lymphatic tissues working the way they're supposed to.
Well,
And
breast tissue is more dense as well, and I think that is something to highlight. It is much more
exactly,
dense when you're doing a self exam. That's why you're feeling this dense, lumpy, bumpy, tissue, because it is much more dense. So it's dense. Denser tissue will hold on to these toxins even more so, right? There's more
absolutely,
space for it to hold on and pull it in
absolutely,
and keep it there.
Right. Good.
absolutely.
Good.
Somebody has a
So,
question.
yeah, where is this
I'm not
question? Let's
seeing
see.
them. Yeah.
It says, how long after a reduction do you continue wearing a compression bra? It's such a good question because I get asked it all the time. I wore mine for 6 months because I loved it. I just felt secure. Feel so secure in it. And so there's no hard and fast rule. Usually a month to 6 weeks, and then you're fine. And your doctor usually tells you, when you can go back to wearing normal bras. Some doctors will tell you in 2 weeks you can go back to wearing a normal bra. But a lot of women, it's individual.
Yeah, and I always tell
Yeah,
them we always go with the surgeon. Whatever the surgeon says, we never override that, right?
no, not at all.
But for me with implants, so reduction one thing with me with the implants, it was 3 months. I think he told me to wear it, but it
Yeah,
became my comfort. Like it became my
exactly.
my source of I had a
And
hard
that's why
time. I
I
love
said
hate.
6 months. Yeah.
Yeah,
For
no,
me, it
you're
was
right.
6 months. It was
Yeah.
So are
wonderful.
yours? Do you when you say custom bras, like if you go in and get sized, is it you're placing in order to have it custom
No,
made, or do you
that's
have
a
do
very
both?
good question. Custom fitted.
Custom fitted. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay. So
so
you
we
have
don't
everything on. So
make
you can
bras.
leave there. You can go and leave there same day
With a
with a
bra.
Absolutely.
proper fitted
We
bra.
have hundreds of styles from A cup to O cups. from 30
Mhm.
band to 50 band. So
Mhm.
we
Where are
service
you
every
located? I
woman.
know you're in Pickering. Where's your other
Pickering,
locations?
Bowmanville, Milton,
Bree, can you
and
just hold the phone a moment and let me ask the question? So curious.
Soccer.
I'm going. Bye.
I'm curious. I got the one.
Let us know. Where are you located, Pauline?
Pickering, Whites and Kingston Road, and Bowmanville, Highway 2,
Yeah.
and Milton, the Milton Mall, and secret
Oh,
location
yeah.
coming soon.
Oh,
Nice.
awesome.
Yes.
Good. Ollie, I have your tags in all the posts that I've been posting. So for both of you, people can find you.
Wonderful.
Um, yeah, I wanted to just add you added a lot of that great information at the end, Pauline, because I was going to ask you like if there's some things that we can all agree on about breast health and that comfort matters.
Hmm.
Pain and inflammation should not be ignored.
Nope, not
Mhm.
at all. And
Okay.
it's not fat. It's not breast fat that's developing under your arms. Go see
Good.
Bree.
Right.
Breast fat.
Um, that fit is important.
Yes.
Very
And
important.
everybody's bodies vary. So what one
Yes,
person is feeling or one person looks like, you can't say, well, it's the same thing, all one size fits all type of
we're
idea,
not.
You can
right?
We're,
still have
we're not.
a proper fitting bra and feel good about it. Doesn't have to be
Mm.
like your
Yeah.
grandmother's, like
Not at
Yeah.
more.
all. Oh,
Yeah.
sexy is very comfortable.
I
Yeah.
think we need to bring that back though, because I think a lot of women are probably just, and maybe more so again, boomers, like
Yeah.
older women, thinking that it's just like it's not shameful, but it's just a bra. It serves its purpose,
Hmm.
it's functional, and that's it, right? But no, it doesn't
No.
have to do that.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's functional and comfortable and serves its purpose.
Yeah.
And bras have come a long way. They're beautiful. They're sexy. They're comfortable. I think that's what most women who come to see me are shocked at is how comfortable they are. Oh
How
my
Hmm.
good
God,
they
they say
feel
they're so comfortable and they look so good. Oh
because
Mm.
God,
they're where they're supposed to be. They're
they're where
sitting
they're
where they're
supposed
supposed
to
to
be.
be. Yeah,
And I don't feel anything. No, you're
yeah,
not supposed to feel anything.
that's
Right.
life changing. Yeah,
It's
Time to
life
book my
every
changing.
day with God's word.
appointment. So Bree,
Lots of tears.
leave us with something, Bree, as far as things that we can do daily, if it's daily, every other day.
Mhm.
Um,
To support
especially
lymphatic
yes.
Yes.
flow. So remember, the name of the game is flow, movement. If you are not moving, your lymph is not moving either. So that is probably
Mhm.
the simplest way to break it down. If you are a person who is subject to sitting at a desk all day for 8 to plus hours, or even if you are, on your feet anywhere in a salon, whatever you do, if you are not actively moving, your lymph
Mhm.
is becoming
Yes.
stagnant. So
Right.
day-to-day things you can incorporate that don't take a lot of time, effort, or money. Get yourself a vibration plate. They're not for weight loss. So don't let anyone sell you. Please, people, stop saying that lymphatic drainage, or people, I mean technicians like myself that are spreading misinformation that lymphatic drainage is weight loss or fat
No.
loss. Fat loss is not even weight loss. Fat loss is targeted. Weight loss is whole body composition. That's another story for a different life. But things you can do at home, a vibration plate, you can probably find one secondhand on Facebook Marketplace. The one I bought brand new from Amazon was like $200. You don't need to spend a lot of money. Um, Dry brushing is great, but it's probably the most minimum thing that you can do, right? Dry brushing, as it implies dry, you would take the brush and long passes. Again, trying to get things flowing.
Mhm.
What kind
Rebounding
of
on a
brush?
trampoline.
What kind of
It's a
brush are we
dry
talking?
brush. It's. I wish I had one. I don't do dry brushing in my own routines. I'm more of a gua sha girly myself. But you could go to the dollar store and get a cheap little. I think they have them at Dollarama.
Okay.
Again, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Vibration plate is probably your best bet. I like to tell people to do it first thing in the morning because remember you just spent 8 hours sleeping, so your fluid is stagnant.
Mhm.
Get on that first thing in the morning. It has a preset for 10 minutes, so that would imply you don't need more than that. If you
Mhm.
can do it midday, great. If you can do it before you go to bed, great. Think of it as the equivalent of taking a water bottle and shaking it up. So that's what it's doing to your body, getting things going because
Okay.
it's starting to get stagnant.
Mhm.
Other than that, you could do rebounding on a trampoline. I actually just bought one. I'm going to put it in the waiting room. My vision, I don't know if it's going to work the vision, but I figured instead of sitting down waiting for your appointment, you can rebound. So I'll set that up tonight and see how that goes. Movement, walking, get yourself a walking pad. People love to use mobility or lack thereof as a not an excuse, but I hear that a lot, and rightfully so. I've got an injury. As we get older, my mom, she's got a bad knee. There's no way she could,
Mhm.
keep up with the running on a treadmill or things like that.
Yeah.
So trying to find good um, methods of movement that are appropriate for the individual if they have any type of mobility concerns or injuries, things like that, right?
Right. If
Excellent.
we,
Get moving, get up and
yeah,
move.
get moving. So,
Love that. Love that.
Sorry to
where
interrupt, but
can,
one more thing, but to sign to
yeah,
that, what do you think after surgery, they tell you, the doctor says, you gotta walk, you gotta walk, you gotta walk, right? After any surgery you have, the doctor will recommend you gotta get up. You can't just be on bed rest all day. Yes, you have to
mhm.
rest, but you have to move. You
Oh
gotta get
yeah,
things
oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
flow.
Very good.
When I had
Awesome.
my back surgery just recently, October, the last thing I want to do is move because I feel like I felt like after surgery that I was worse off than I was
Gonna cause more
before.
problem.
So
Yeah,
I was like, I can't move. Like I felt like I was learning how to walk all over
Mhm.
again.
yeah. And
But
you'll baby it,
the
rightfully so.
smallest movements was important.
Mhm.
Even just getting up, sitting up was important. Lying back down, getting up and sitting up for
Mhm.
longer. Go to the bathroom, come back. That's
That's okay.
the most minimal amount of movement that you can do is important. So never
Awesome.
think that
Yes.
because
Even
you're
if you
feeling
just
pain.
did like just sitting on it,
Mhm.
and turning it on. Come on, look at me.
Mhm.
Look, I got a pedicure. But even just doing this, I'm sitting on a chair as
Okay.
I'm doing
Oh,
this,
wow.
and then you can kind of ease into
Yeah.
to
Standing
standing,
up.
That's
and that's
excellent.
kind of what that would look like, right? It's a
Yeah.
little bit of an odd
Awesome.
feeling at first, but a really good investment for day to day, and anyone can
Yeah.
use it. Especially good for people as we get older, right? Because
Right.
Oh, that's excellent.
everything slows down. Yep, it's all
Good.
downhill from here. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Stop it.
I'm
Literally,
joking.
literally all down.
It doesn't have to be though. It doesn't have to
Doesn't
be.
have to be. Where can we find you, Bree?
Wonderful.
I am on social media on Instagram at lymphaddicT, lymphaddicT.ca. You can also find me online if you just search in lymphatic drainage in Durham or Pickering. My studio is in Pickering, but I do service Durham region and a bit of the GTA.
Okay, Pauline.
Worth going to.
Yeah, your
Wonderful,
main one in
wonderful.
Pickering.
Yeah, but I know this about you're asking me about bras, but honestly, lymphatic drainage is what saved me and is what brought me into this industry of
Hmm.
bras. So, Bree, I love you. I love what you do.
And
Hmm.
come
I
see
think
us. We're all
I
going,
think
Natalie and I, we're going to
every
come get
woman
measured. We're
I
going to
think
Yeah.
get
every
measured.
woman should, before you do anything, go get a lymphatic drainage. Several of them. Book
Yeah.
7, 8
That's a good point,
appointments.
especially for fat loss, because you'd be
Yes,
surprised how much water you're retaining before you even. I have a
it's
client, she
just so
comes for
important.
weekly. She has a bit more excess fluid than normal, but she's coming weekly, and every time I see her, she's wasting away for, in a good way, in a sense. Like she's just
Wonderful.
losing, it's all water weight, right? So before you
It's
spend all this time and money on all these fancy diets and trends and lotions and
yeah,
potions, and
100%.
nothing will work like you doing, put in, you can take pills and detox supplements and all these things, but doing it from the source and putting in the work is the best
Yeah.
way always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so important. So important.
Water, water,
It's
water.
And we didn't even touch on
yeah,
saunas. Like a detox sauna is a whole other, that deserves its own uh
Is it
um
good for you though?
amazing, but a lot of
Getting
people
in the
aren't
sauna, right?
sauna
Oh yeah. That's what
because everything we're doing
I was
is
like,
we're
is there something I'm doing wrong? Because I do it all the time.
no, no, no. But people are not sauning properly. So, there's right
Mhm.
ways to sauna and wrong ways to sauna. So
yeah.
that's a whole other life.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
everything's connected.
wonderful. Wonderful.
Awesome. Well, this was great information. And if there's any
Fantastic. Absolutely
last minute
fantastic.
words or comments anybody has to say, then you can go ahead and say it. But I want to thank everybody for being here and for
Absolutely.
staying here, and for wanting to, you know, put into knowledge that's going to help you in your health. Because
100%.
sometimes there's so many things that we're like, yeah, I'm too, too tired, too busy. Like to be here, to want to know what this conversation was about is important. And
And
For
so
sure.
I'm
pass it
going
on.
And each
to
one teach one,
offer
right? So hopefully this
Exactly.
conversation spreads and somebody says, hey, like last night they were talking about breast
absolutely.
health and like hopefully
Yeah.
that's what we're here for. So
Yeah, yeah.
So
that was
come
And
on.
honestly, can I tell you one last thing before I go,
Mm-hmm.
before
of
we
course.
go? Um, I I think I'd already started to see you, Bree. You're the first one that did the lymphatic massage. But before you and I had the conversation about going to see Pauline, and we talk about like the correlation, possibly not, between
Mhm.
breast and lymph blockage. A male friend of mine sent me a link of a woman that I don't wear bras anymore because, and she was talking about the correlation. And that was the first time, and it had to have been maybe a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, that I ever knew about this being a thing. And this
Yeah,
came from a
The
male
thing.
person, not a woman
that's
as well.
crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Was
bringing my
that
attention to
was
that.
that a TikTok thing? Was that
It might
TikTok?
have been a TikTok, or I'm not
Yeah,
sure,
something like
TikTok
that.
or something, Instagram, but
I think
yeah.
it's good that the conversation's happening, but I do have
Yes.
concerns with, like, as we said, we're not from the beginning. We said this is not hating and bashing the bra,
No,
No,
right?
no,
This is
no,
not at all.
I
saying
know,
wear a
but
bra.
it
Not at
brought the
all.
attention to
It
me
got
of
the
like
conversation going. Things thinking.
the reason
Yeah,
why someone wouldn't wear a bra, right? It was more so
exactly.
about the lymph blockage. So
And
Absolutely,
remember that there are really good reasons why you need to wear a bra,
for
such as
sure.
balance, such as the weight
Hmm.
distribution. Your
Hmm.
breasts are heavy, they need to be in a bra. You need a
Base
little
is
help.
important for sure.
It's
Yeah.
the kind of bra that you're wearing. It's all about the kind of bra you're
yes,
wearing.
I
Yeah.
yes.
hope that ladies run, don't walk, run. I hope that tomorrow morning you got a light in front of your door.
And
Well, and
yours
you
too.
did,
Well,
Bree.
I'm trying to get you a line up at your door because I think it's so important. So,
I'll
so,
come
so
drop
important.
off. I will joke aside. I'll come drop off some cards and
Yeah.
get measured because
Awesome.
Yes.
this is just the
Drop off some
beginning. I think
cards.
it's just the beginning of a at least the conversation keep going, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's
Thanks,
wonderful. Thank you,
Thank
Bree.
you
ladies.
so much for
Thanks for
joining
being
us.
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Amazing.
Bye.
Bye,
Take care.
everyone. Take care.